Tootsie, goodbye. This is television. This is real.
Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another video. This is another paid request, this time for Andrew Chilton. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, reviews, re-reviews, randomness, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And I'm doing all this and laughing because Ferris Bueller, the TV show, he asked if I'd take a look at least the first 2 or so episodes. Now, I will admit, I'm always curious about these shows that only last a season, or even like 5 episodes or 4 episodes, because there's shows that are not, they're forgotten with time, and especially if they either have people that you recognize, or they're based on a property you recognize. And just throughout the years, how many shows there were that were based on a hit movie or a hit comedy. I mean, there were 2 versions of Uncle Buck as a TV show. I think one of them had Mike Epps in it later on. And then there's one around the 80s, 90s. They tried to do an Uncle Buck TV show. There was a allergic to BS. Ferris Bueller, the TV show. It was 13 episodes long, thankfully. August 1990 on NBC. And it bombed. It bombed badly. Just number 1, it wasn't funny. Wasn't funny at all. Number 2, it was poorly written. Absolutely poorly written. That's the second one. Number 3, there was another series that came out and I think got 3 seasons called Parker Lewis Can't Lose. Ferris Bueller Day Off. Parker Lewis Can't Lose. So you already had your wannabe Ferris Bueller, and people would say that was a better show than this. This was created, I'm like, well, I thought John Hughes created this, but created by the guy who would do Touched by an Angel. The pilot episode was directed by the guy who directed Clue. And I think the second episode was directed by Bill Bixby. David Banner from the Incredible Hulk TV show. Because at this time he would direct stuff, especially TV. But the show, it starred Charlie Schlatter, it starred Jennifer Aniston. And Charlie Schlatter, if you don't know, he's a guy who was he was the new guy in Police Academy 7, Mission to Moscow. He was in this film I like called All American Murder with Christopher Walken. He did not work in this part. He did not work in this role. I know I have friends who don't like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I do. I quite liked that movie. I think it's one of John Hughes' best movies, with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and Weird Science. And Breakfast Club. I love Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I think it's very funny. I think Matthew Broderick worked that role perfectly. He had that innocent charm that you see why people would believe in him, why people would take to him and do whatever he wanted, and he would get away with murder, whether with his parents or with the schoolmates, and why he was so popular, because he had that innocent sweetness, and it used to be a lying, steaming guy. Charlie Schlatter just didn't have that. And it was weird because the very first episode, he's got a standee of Matthew Broderick, and apparently the movie was based on his life. This is television. This is real. B. Matthew Broderick. So then Charlie Schlatter takes a chainsaw and saws through Matthew Broderick. So right off the get-go, you're telling your audience, you like that movie? Nah, you shouldn't like that movie. This is the real Ferris Bueller. I'm sitting there knowing you just pissed off any potential fan because they liked the movie and they like, screw you, buddy. You think you're better than Matthew Broderick? You think you're better than John Hughes? You think you're better than this? F you. So that's not really the best of first impressions. That just dumbfounds me. And this writing is terrible. He does the Ferris Bueller thing where he'll talk to the camera a lot, saying sometimes random stuff. Life is one damn thing after another. No shit. There's 2 states of consciousness, un and sub. And I'm like, what? The hell are you talking about? And then the characters, Jennifer Aniston, before Friends, she was on this as the sister, Ferris Bueller's sister. Yeah, this was it Amy Dolenz, I believe her name is, as Sloane. But it's weird because he says he hasn't met Sloane yet. But if the movie was based on his life, where he's with Sloane, but in real life he hasn't even met Sloane yet, I don't know how that works out. I don't think the people who made this knows how it works out. And also, this has one of the worst TV intros I've ever seen or heard. The song is one of the worst TV intro songs I have ever seen in my fucking life. It's dog shit. It's, worse than dog shit. Just leave dog shit you can maybe use as fertilizer for your fucking garden. You can use this, I don't know, to annoy someone or make them scream mercy. Ferris Bueller. Ferris Bueller. Ferris. Great. The person singing the song has a stutter. Ferris. Bueller. Which is funny because throughout this, they have some actual songs in the fucking show. Like, she drives me crazy, I just can't help myself. Like, that song, like, it costs money to get those songs, and they put those in the damn show, but then they have such a terrible fucking intro song. Horrible. The principal, like the movie, is the villain. The principal, I recognize the guy, Richard Reel. He's a guy, he was one of the people in Office Space. If you've seen the first Hatchet, he's the older, remember the older couple? There was a guy, a man and a woman, much older than anybody else. And he's like one of the first to get killed in a gory way. I think he got like chopped like this. It's been forever since I've seen Hatchet. Because I'm not a fan of that film. It's got good gore, but that's it. But he plays the villain. And, he's still the popular, helps the kids. And really, it's just an introduction to the characters. The buddy barely gets... Alan Ruck's character was a very important part of Ferris Bueller. Cameron. I only saw the first 2 episodes, but that's your first big impression. And Cameron is barely a thing. I'm like, wow, that was a big part of the movie. And, the actor they got seemed very bland anyway. And there's nothing in terms of making Cameron even a thing of a character. I think I looked it up. There was a bit in an episode where Cameron and Ferris' sister fell in love. And then that was truly forgotten. So, I mean, this is back in the day where they didn't really want to follow through on things or have a lot of continuity from one episode to another. I'm surprised there wasn't a damn laugh track on this. So it's Ferris wanting to talk with Sloane. Sloane likes the ballet. And he's trying to get with her. But at the same time, oh, I can't pick up these books. Can you carry these books with me? I'm like, wow, that's a way to pick up a girl? Making her carry your books, you lazy ass? And that's a... Matthew Broderick showcased, again, that inherent sweetness. That, you understand why people followed his groove, so to speak. They followed his way of thinking. You say it's manipulative, but I didn't hate him. Here, again, Charlie Schlatter, the way he played him, the way he was written, it's a very unlikable character, this Ferris Bueller. Very unlikable prick. At one point, there's a driver's ed class with a steering wheel. Did they have this in the high schools back then? Where you did actually have a class where you have an actual steering wheel? Maybe. Because also, that's another thing. This wasn't in Chicago. This was in, like, California. So maybe in California schools back in the day it had that. So the principal catches him coming in and is like, oh, I'm going to suspend you. I'm going to kick you out. Ferris hires an attorney, which I guess is a guy he knew that did him a favor. And then he's dimmed down to detention. Meanwhile, Jennifer Aniston's character has been arrested. Ferris still has a hacker ability on the computer. So then he bumps his sister's bail to $250,000. But even then, what this does more is hurt his parents, because his parents are like, oh, we're going to go get your sister. And he says, oh, don't forget your wallet. So all you did was hurt your parents, you dick. Because now they have to pay $250,000. Yeah, when you guys are in the poorhouse and you lose your house, great job, Ferris. The thing with the movie, the only thing he changed in the computer was his own grades. He wasn't hurting anybody. He wasn't hurting his sister. He wasn't hurting his parents. So this guy's an unlikable fucking prick who you want to take a shotgun to the face, or at least a kick in the balls with a sledgehammer. Fuck this Ferris Bueller. The second episode, the first goddamn scene is Barbara Bush on TV, because I guess Barbara Bush at one point referenced Ferris Bueller, the movie. You know, the last line of the movie before the end credits that Ferris says. You know, life goes very fast. If you don't stop to take a look around, you can miss it. And then it's Ferris running for student body president. But at the same time, that kind of gets forgotten shortly, because then it becomes an election between the principal's brown-noser candidate and this guy named Shred. And then it's more about, oh, let's help this random guy become student body president. And, oh, your real name's Les? So we'll have the slogan, less is more. And we cleaned you up. We didn't showcase us cleaning him up. And what made him clean up? It's just, I'm going to introduce you to this person, and the next thing, he's cleaned up. Different clothes, different way of behavior, different way of talking. We don't know how we got there. Maybe we get some humor out of it. But even then, what? Your second episode is about politics and student body presidents, and then it's not even Ferris Bueller trying to run for it. It seemed like he was going to run for it, but it's like, nah, never mind, it's now this other guy. And a debate, and Les winning. The opponent falls, and then Ferris goes, this must be the fall campaign. Because, the guy fell. And again, the jokes and the humor. Like when he's getting ready for bed, he says, checking for bedfellows. Politics make strange ones. So instead of searching for bed bugs, he's searching for bedfellows because politics make strange ones. Like, this is the writing in this show. No wonder that canceled so goddamn quickly. I mean, the parents are there just to be nice to Ferris and not believe in the sister. Jennifer Aniston is there to be pissy and hate her brother. I mean, I like Jennifer Aniston. Like, I don't mind her. As an actress, I don't mind her. She's given nothing to do in this. Charlie Schlatter is a bad choice. I don't think he fits his role. But the writing didn't help either. Ferris comes off as a selfish, which could be attributes you see of the movie, but Matthew Broderick and the writing of John Hughes, the way he worked it in, still made him a likable character. Yeah, he was scheming and doing all this, but he was doing all this because he wanted one day off and enjoy life. But here, he just comes off as a pompous, full of himself, selfish, hurtful dickhead. There's even a point where, oh yeah, Sloane wants to go to a good school to dance. So he hacks into the computer to make her stay there. So you're screwing with her future for your own fucking needs. And I'm like, you know, the real Ferris is a lot more shitty than the movie Ferris. In this world, it's like, yeah, the movie guys saw who Ferris was and went, we don't want to write him like this. We want people to actually like our movie. Just a piece of shit show. I didn't no wonder it was a flop. But again, it is interesting just how many, I mean, we all know about the popular shows, but just how many shows just came and went. And there were some that were pretty good that did not last long. I'm looking at Taye Diggs did a action, sci-fi cop show called Daybreak, where it's a cop who relives the day over and over again, Groundhog Day style, and he's trying to solve these murders and break the cycle and find out who's at the bottom of this whole conspiracy. Daybreak was pretty cool. That only lasted 1 year. Grade the Bunny, that's a funny, raunchy but funny comedy on Fox. That only lasted 1 year. Of course, people mention Firefly and other stuff. And there's shows like this that you can see. I'm surprised it lasted 13. I'm surprised it didn't last just 5. The TV intro should have given it all away. Ferris, 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 Ferris. Christ. I'm like, where's the humor? When does it get funny? Just more annoying. But with that said, we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. Later.